Alright. Yeah, man. FG Marder. And a new sausage dog in the background. My little puppy's called Indy. My Scotty dog hasn't quite got over it yet, but we are looking today at this beastie. This is the FG Marder E. It's a truck that it's a 5th scale, 6th scale, 5.5 scale that hasn't changed much in 20 years. It predates the HBI Baja. It was an eclectic kind of buy. I wanted to build one and still maintain the retro look. So anyway, I'll get into it. So it is 5B, Baja 5B wheels and tyres, the sand paddles in the rear, and the sand rail fronts. You get them on because the FG hex hub is square, so you do need an adapter, but you can pick one up most places. I think I got mine from RC Models in the UK. I've done quite a lot of upgrading to this, which I'll show you now. So the body is a stock body, but it comes screen painted blue with this blue stuff on it. I didn't like it. Blue and white, I just wasn't interested, so of course it went to the green. I think it looks pretty fat and bad, to be honest. Looks like a turbo cross kart. To get the body off, you do need to take the wing off, but it's a couple of clips, and it's 4 body clips either side, 2 either side. It's quite a nice thick Lexan body, pretty thick, nice and flexible, should last, and it actually clamps down really hard onto the chassis. And this is it. This is the design that hasn't changed in 20 years, if it ain't broke, right? So the whole front end is FG billet. I replaced all the front end with billet. This truck stock weighs about 5.2 kilos, so it is the lightest 5th scale out there by a long shot. I built a pretty light Baja 5B for a friend of mine, and that was 12.5 kilos, I think. So this one at 5.2 stock is amazing. It's now 7.2 with the extra billet stuff. I went more billet in the front end to keep the weight up at the front a little bit. It turned out pretty sweet. You kind of have to guess at how things go together because the billet is different from the plastic. It all went together nice. The billet is 7075 as I understand, and it's pretty nice from FG. It's the stock chassis, stock servo mount, battery, receiver mount here, stock battery trays, and it comes with a perfectly fine ESC and motor, but I've put a bigger motor in here, and I'm going to put a Max 5 ESC in there. So this has now got the Easy Run 4985 can in there. And actually the motor mount on this thing's cool because you've got 2. So because I'm running a smaller can and not a 5th scale can, I've got another adapter mount in there that adapts it to this plate. But then on this plate, you'll see there's loads of different types of holes. So you can really mount anything you put a big 5th scale can in here if you want, big Coke can, but I think it would spoil the weight distribution, and it doesn't need it. They run these 5.2 kilos, it's lighter than a Creighton. So they run these on 4S normally. It's a stock chassis. Chassis's nice, really thick. Machined aluminium, I believe. It's very nice, actually. Stock shocks. And the business end at the rear. I've put in a I've put in a helical geared racing diff that I managed to find. This is really vintage stuff, but super trick. I wish I'd done a video on how it all went together, but it was really difficult getting it to fit. But in terms of the thick, this gear is much thicker than stock, and you need to position it just right to get it through the hole in the chassis. But again, some billet in the rear here, some billet on the top, billet shock towers, stock shocks, billet shock arms, lowers, ups are stock. The top of stock, it's slightly wider with the conversion, wheel conversion hexes on there. So yeah, super stoked with it. Max 5 will go in here tomorrow, and then there's a few tuning bits to do, and then she's ready to rip. Peace.